Hey, Jarek here. A few weeks ago I was watching a video on Valve fan games, and even though this game was officially released, it was in that video, and it unlocked some deep memories in my brain. I have not thought of this game since I beat it. Now this game came out before Half-Life 2, so the moment I beat this game, I just went looking for more news on Half-Life 2. Even back then, Valve was pretty bad with communication. This game is Codename Gordon. And yes, this was officially released by Valve. Though it wasn't developed by Valve, this was developed by Nuclear Blast Entertainment. It is a free game on Steam, or at least I should say was a free game on Steam. See, it has since been delisted. However, it has only been delisted, it has not been removed from Steam. If you input this URL, PC Gaming Wiki is so useful, you click that, it'll just open Steam and instantly install it, putting it in your library. But why was this game removed from Steam? Well, the developer went bankrupt and defaulted on their website, and as such, an ad site took over. It's filled with malware, trojans, and a bunch of stuff you don't want to see. Unfortunately, the link to this website is hard-coded into the game, so Valve had no choice but to remove it from Steam. But this makes for an interesting setup, because this game released before Half-Life 2. A lot of it was based on the Half-Life 2 beta leak. I guess that means this game was the first game to have a gravity gun. Also, since it was published by Valve, it's canon, technically. See Gordon cursing every time he gets hit? Guess Gordon Freeman canonically speaks now, as long as he's swearing. And you'll be swearing like Gordon if you miss this sale. 25% off Into the AM graphic tees until August 8th. If you're watching this the date of this video, then you have until Monday. Or you can just buy them now so you don't forget. Okay, but let me back up. Why should you care about these shirts? I've accepted sponsors from Into the AM many times in the past because I do genuinely like their products. The shirts are very soft, they're comfortable, they flex, they stretch, they're durable. You're seeing footage of me mountain biking in the background, and yeah, that's why I wear these. They're very comfortable, and they also breathe pretty well too. But also they're good for just walking around, I don't know, getting food, going to the store, just regular everyday shirts. Here's some footage from a stream of me TOing a local Rivals of Ether event while wearing one of these shirts, actually the same shirt I'm wearing right now. And yeah, they definitely didn't pay me to wear one of these at a local furry trash smash monthly. Point being, I really like these shirts and I would highly recommend them. If you're watching this video and it's too late for the sale, don't fret. You can get 10% off site-wide if you go to my link, intotheam.com/dragonshirts. Of course, they have their usual sales. You can get 3 gravity tees for 60 or 3 basic tees for 45. And they have more than just t-shirts. They have hoodies and tank tops and a bunch of other things. So if you're not looking for just shirts, there might be something there for you. So as always, a big thanks goes to Into the AM for sponsoring this video. Anyway, as I'm sure you've noticed, this is not a first-person shooter. This is a side-scroller. Yes, it is based on Flash and all of the assets were made in Photoshop. Also, you can tell it came out in the early 2000s because listen to this main menu music.
Mr. Freeman, Mr. Freeman, Mr. Freeman.
Man, it wouldn't be long until this stuff sort of rewrote itself into YouTube poops. I usually talk about the graphics here, but I mean, it's a Flash game. To be fair, it does look pretty good for a Flash game, but it also just looks like a step up from a Newgrounds game. I'm not really complaining. All of the interesting stuff is in the fine details. Since this was somewhat based off the Half-Life 2 beta leak, there's a lot of locations that weren't in the final Half-Life 2 build. For example, the docks right outside of Ravenholm. This was the area that Valve showed off at E3. And this is just burned in my brain. I remember this looking so good, and I just thought there was no way games could look this good yet. I was partially right, my computer did need to be upgraded at the time. Anyway, these docks never made it into Half-Life 2. Same thing can be said for the Half-Life 2 Wastelands. This was in the beta, but never made it into the final game, yet here it is in Codename Gordon. There's also more beta designs for the Combine and beta designs for the buggy. I could go on and on. But despite the fact that this game was based on Half-Life 2's beta, it was able to predict the future of Half-Life 2's movement. Oh, that's a problem. Accelerated backward bunny hop. You actually jump faster that way. I really enjoy Half-Life, I don't know how you can tell, and if you're a Half-Life fan, this stuff probably just tickles at your brain. I find it incredibly interesting. But okay, what about the story? Well, believe it or not, there is actually a story in this game. What I didn't remember from the first time I played is that the writing is pretty clever. It's very tongue-in-cheek, and they're constantly making jokes about missing a dimension. I also love how Gordon Freeman stays in character, and by that I mean, he says nothing and only replies in ASCII. And this stuff leads to some really funny conversations. I'm way too easily amused by this. Oh, and as I'm sure you've noticed, there's no voice acting in this game, it's just this weird mumbling. I mostly think it's fine, but what the hell is going on with Alex's voice? God, she sounds bad. It's unironically hard to read while listening to that. Why does she sound like a child? God, that's annoying. But okay, tongue-in-cheek jokes aside, what's actually going on here? Well, G-Man says it's not him. Powers above him are the ones doing this. He also says he's not the boss of you, which is a lie. Effectively, some higher being took away a dimension, and to get it back, you have to defeat the final boss. That's pretty much the whole story. As for the gameplay, well, it's a Half-Life platformer, which I never thought I would say before. There are 5 weapons to use. Of course, you have your trusty crowbar. You have the Half-Life 2 match, which uses the firing sound effect from Half-Life 2, but the reloading sound effects from Half-Life 1, which is odd. You have an SMG, which I'm not sure what this is supposed to be. It kind of looks like they're trying to make an MP5. It doesn't look like the OICW that was cut out of Half-Life 2. I don't know what this is supposed to be. You get the gravity gun for the first time ever, and you get grenades you can throw if that counts as another weapon. Now, all of these weapons work exactly as you would expect. There's not really any surprises here. There's no split functions on any of them. The gravity gun is just hold down left mouse click to pick things up, let go, it will launch them. This is marginally effective. The only other unique thing I would say about the weapons is that head crabs can actually jump on your head in this game, and to get them off, you have to hit them with the crowbar. I always thought it was weird that Gordon Freeman didn't wear a helmet, yet head crabs never posed any real threat to him. Well, in this game, they actually are a threat. One of them jumps on your head when you have a pistol out, you gotta swap weapons just to get it out, and someone may be shooting at you. Other than that, almost all of these enemies do exactly what you would expect, except for the manhacks. The manhacks just go back and forth, and you can't kill them. However, if you smack them with a crowbar or grab them with a gravity gun, you can change their course. It is really fun to change the path of a manhack to kill a combine, although occasionally this doesn't work as intended. That did damage to me. Oh, that manhack is going, well, I was gonna say it's going places, it's really not. Oh, fuck. What? What? How did it get over there? Or maybe pick up a manhack to launch it somewhere with the gravity gun to solve a puzzle. This one got me an extra life. Oh yeah, this game has lives, which is kind of dumb, but the whole game is short enough and not incredibly difficult, so I don't think it's that big of a deal. There's even a buggy level in this game. I don't know why I remember this level so much. Playing through it nowadays, it's just driving back and forth, shooting into the air, and that's the whole level. It's not particularly interesting. But for some reason, this is the only part of the game I remember. That and vaguely remembering a Strider. And that is the final boss of the game, you have to fight a Strider. And this more or less just works out like the Dune Buggy, jumping to avoid its shots while shooting back at it and throwing grenades at it until it eventually dies. Not really the deepest gameplay in the world, but it's still fun. All in all, this experience will last you about 45 minutes to an hour long, depending on how much time you're taking. It's a pretty short game, but also it was released for free by Valve, so I can't complain about that either. I honestly would love it if Valve released a full-on Half-Life platformer that was more involved and just put them on all platforms. I mean, that'd be pretty fun to play on the Switch, to be honest. Who am I kidding though? Valve releases a new game once every 15 years. Anyway, that's Codename Gordon. This was a pretty short game and I didn't have a whole lot to say, but I found the whole story of how it became to be and how it disappeared to be really interesting. Let alone all of the Half-Life 2 beta elements that you just don't really see in other official Half-Life games. If you want to try this game out for yourself, it is free and you can still download it on Steam. I'll put where you can download it below in the video information. Just copy paste it and put it in your browser and then Steam will automatically open and you'll start downloading. There was also a fix I needed to download because the default exe file just launched in full screen and it was kind of busted, so I replaced that one to launch in a window mode and then it worked. I'll put that down there too. So that was fun, going back and living through memory lane. I legit have not played this game in like 18 years. Half-Life 2 is going to be 20 years old in 2 years. I guess I'll leave you with that knowledge. Thanks to everyone that joined me when I stream this to Twitch. If you want to check out my Twitch, there's a link in the bottom right of your screen there. If you subscribe to my Twitch, you get to see my videos at least 1 week ahead of time. And of course, thank all of you for watching this video.